Anyone? Any questions as of now? Any questions from Venu, Krishna, Manju? I think we are missing Satish, I think. We'll wait for 2 more minutes.
I don't have any questions.
Yeah, Manju. You have any questions? Welcome.
No, I don't have anything. Just
Oh, you don't have questions. Okay.
Actually, I practice till here only. After that, I start practice. Actually, I see the videos and go through. I'll do it today and then I'll ask.
Yeah. No problem. Take your time. Even after the training is also done, it's not that Shiva. It's not like that. Shiva is done with the training, so you should not contact Shiva. Okay.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a question, you can ask me. Okay. I'll try to respond back to you as early as possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens is that I get stuck in my own world. Okay. So I don't get back to you as well quickly, but don't think that Shiva is done with the training, so that's the reason he's not responding. It's because I'm stuck with the appointments or the schedules I have. In the meanwhile, Satish comes or we wait for Satish. Can I ask you all one question? Okay. Silence means I can ask the question. My question here is that, okay, the moment I say domain.sh, what will happen? Of course, it will load the some content, some files. What is that? Immediate it will happen. People who came yesterday?
Immediately what happens is it initiates the shell script.
Okay. It initiated the shell script. It started loading the contents inside the domain.sh script. Then?
And it will try to load the profile, the default profile if it's nothing is mentioned, and try to load the resources accordingly. Startup.
Okay.
And it will create 2 processes, host controller and process controller.
Okay. That's it?
It does many things, but initially what happens is like
okay, let me answer that question. The moment you say domain.sh, of course, as said, rightly said by you people, the contents of the domain.sh will be loaded perfectly fine. But after the contents of the domain.sh loads, or the moment the domain.sh is initiated, the JBoss instance will start in the domain mode. So as part of starting of the domain instance in the JBoss, okay, it will first try to load the domain.xml. Once the contents inside the domain.xml file is loaded, it will then go back to the host configuration file. Okay, you have host.xml file, or else if you have said --host -config, it will try to load the host, what are the host configuration file you are given. So depending upon the parameters, if you only say domain.sh, domain.xml file will be loaded, followed by the host.xml file will be loaded. If you say domain.sh, okay, space --host-config domain-config, it will try to load the corresponding your customer's domain.xml file and host.xml file. And depending upon the entry that is there inside the domain controller tag, according to that it will be a master or it will be a slave. That's the reason if you have mentioned the JVM arguments in the domain.xml file as well as in the host.xml file, whatever you have mentioned in the domain.xml file will be overridden by the one that is mentioned in the host.xml file. Clear? Clear?
Yeah.
Not clear? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Clear.
Cool. So with that, let's quickly begin our next topic. We waited for some time. I think Santosh is the one who's pinging me on WhatsApp. 1 second. sorry, it's not Shravan. So it's not Satish. Okay, let's quickly begin our next topic. Uh, Before I forget, I want to ask you a question. We discussed about the scenario wherein which, okay, I have my domain and slave running in different machines. Okay, some reason my domain instance is down. Okay, how would be the reaction from the slave? I'm to say, would slave continue be running? Okay, or is it that any other challenges are expected?
The slave
You're clear about my
continues.
question?
Yeah, the slave continues to be running, but if you have made any changes to the domain or anything, it won't be reciprocated to the slave or something like that.
Okay,
And you can't access the admin console. So whatever you want
okay,
to do, you have to do with the CLI.
okay. Just to add few more things, I'm sure what I don't remember exactly what I said about this. So whatever you said, Manju, is 100% correct. Let me put it in a different format. Okay. So the moment you start your domain instance, okay, and you have a master, let's say on machine A and slave on machine B, and you're trying to start your instance. Whenever you're trying to start your master, the moment the master is available up and running, the moment your master, okay, the moment your master is available up and running, okay, what happened was that you brought up even the slave also. Okay, let me bring up my slave. Hmm. Ports is the issue. Oh,
I
I
guess
know,
you
I
have
know, I
given
know, I
the
know, I know, I know. Yeah, I know. I understood the problem.
host config.
Yeah, actually, it's picking up the default host.xml file where I haven't made the changes to the port
That's
numbers.
it.
Yeah, so now I'm picking up this host-slave.xml file. See here, now my slave is registered. Okay, cool. Now my domain, my master is running, my slave is running, both are available up and running. Perfectly fine. Some reason my master went down. Some reason my master went down. And if you closely observe here in the slave, you keep on getting, okay, for indefinite amount of the time, the slave
Not.
keeps on trying to reach to the master, but it cannot contact the master. Sure, what is the impact on the application now? There will not be impact in the application assuming that you have some servers, okay, on the slave on which also you deployed your application. But the impact right now here is that, okay, any changes you are trying to do to your slave, if it has to get reflected by restarting the server, you cannot restart the slave. Why? Because whenever you're saying, okay, whenever you're saying domain.sh, okay, in your host-slave.xml file, okay, in your host-slave.xml file, you clearly say where exactly is your master is there. But for some reason, your master is down, it's not available or it's not picking up. Clear? So now what should you do? Okay, very simple. Whenever you're trying to start your slave, okay, if you expect or if you see that this is something that is happening frequently, for the first time when you're trying to start your slave, okay, let my master get started. Okay, for the first time when you're trying to start your slave, we have something called as an hyphen backup. Clear? We have something called as an hyphen backup. You need to use that particular option and you need to start your slave instances. Okay, now if you see here, my master is available up and running. Okay, now I'm trying to start my slave. Okay, when I'm trying to start my slave, what I should do is that I have to mention a parameter called as an hyphen backup. The moment I mention hyphen backup, what it will try to do is that, okay, it will try to keep a backup of my master in my local repository, so that whenever I am trying to restart my slave, okay, assuming that the master is down, okay, it will try to pick up my master information from my local directory. But again, remember here, you cannot access your admin console. Any changes at the config level, you can't do it. The only advantage is that any restart you want to do as part of any changes you're trying to perform on your slave, it gets reflected immediately. Clear? Manju, you have a question?
So the changes, I did not get that point. The changes you made on the slave will be reflected immediately.
Yes.
Uh,
Let's say that you
I
added a
haven't
server. You added a server, okay,
onto the slave.
onto the slave.
Mm-hmm.
That will be there. But any changes for which it has to contact or it has to depend on my master, that will not work. For example, I'll give a simple scenario. Whatever we
That will
took
not work
yesterday,
anyway, right? That will not work
yes,
anyway because the domain
master
the
is
domain
down.
controller is down. So what is the use of this hyphen backup thing?
Okay, the use of this is that, okay, imagine a scenario that your servers in your slave are having some out of memory issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what you need to do, you need to also whenever you have to increase the RAM, I'm to say you have to increase the heap memory, correct or not?
Mm-hmm.
You're getting me, Manju?
Yeah, it depends. We'll see.
Yeah,
Look into
no,
various things,
imagine
and
that, okay,
ultimately, yeah.
yeah, the ultimate solution that has been given is to increase the heap argument. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
now I have to increase the heap argument, correct? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you increase the heap argument. If you are increasing a heap argument, is it necessary to restart the server or not?
Yeah, or even though if you make config changes also, you need to restart. Yes.
So if you want to restart, okay, your master is done. Can your slave get started? Because if you have an
It
access to
would
the
be
admin
complaint.
console,
Yeah.
you can individually start your server. But now master is done. No access to the admin console. Since,
You
okay,
can
we
kill
don't
the
have a
you can,
facility to individually start the server instance, we have to restart your entire slave. So when you're trying to restart your entire slave, since the master is done, can you try to do that?
no, you need to go on doing individual instances, but not to the not to gather as a group or something.
Yes. So not even individually also we can't start the server. How you can start individually?
Because we can just kill the process and start the servers. I
How?
mean, uh, with the
We have
domain.sh
it.
one.
So domain.sh, when you're trying to say, the moment you say domain.sh, it will go and contact the master. Correct or not?
It will go and contact the master, but the master is down, even though should
No.
be able to start up the.
Okay, cool. Let me show it to you here. Here, my master is done. Okay, 1 second. My master is done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So according to you, even though master is done, still my slave should be able to start. Probably since it's not able to contact the master, that's okay.
Mm.
You're able to see what is happening up here?
Something it's starting initially, and then it's trying to connect to the host, I mean master, and throwing up all these connectivity errors.
So is the slave started? Not starting. Is the slave started?
Not until now, no.
It will never start it. Because in
Okay.
the configuration file you clearly say that, hey, this is a location where my master is there, go and pick up the details. Clear?
Okay.
So that's the reason you need to have this hyphen hyphen backup.
So now
I
you
just told
can
this one
restart, you
theoretically.
mean?
Yep.
Okay.
It's like you're trying to call me up. I'm not available, but you can leave a voice message to me so that your call, I don't miss that. Okay, let's say that I'm going out of station. So when I'm going out of station, imagine that, okay, the moment I go out of station, there's a place where I'm going where the mobile signals are not present. Okay, so you're trying to reach to me. Okay, I'm not reachable. So I'll not know that, okay, Manju is trying to reach me for some issue. I'll not be able to know that. But imagine that my mobile has a facility for a voice message. So the moment I'm not reachable, you leave a voice message. Okay. The moment I have my signals available, I see that I get an alert saying that, hey, Manju is trying to reach me. She left a voice message. So I immediately pick up the voice message and try to understand what is the complexity. Then accordingly, I'll call you back. Okay. You're getting me?
Yeah, yeah.
Same here also. Okay. Now my master is done. Let's try to restart your slave. Okay, now since you've taken a backup of your master onto your slave, okay, now when you're trying to restart it, okay, you have to restart it using a parameter collision. Clear?
Cached TC.
Cached hyphen DC. Okay, so what that does, that parameter will say that it says that, hey, try to, since already a backup of the domain, you see here, shit, I forgot to show that.
So you need to run the backup while the server is, I mean the master is up and running.
Yep, I'll show you here. You see this? It's trying
Cached
to load
remote.
the domain related information from domain.cached-remote.xml file. How does this file got generated? When I'm trying to start my slave, for the first time I say hyphen hyphen backup. So it created a information, it created a backup information of my domain. So when I'm trying to start my domain again, I mentioned hyphen hyphen cached hyphen DC. So I'm saying that, hey, slave, okay, when you're trying to start your domain, try to pick up the domain related information from your cached directory. That's how it's able to start. See here, still my master is down. Still I
Yeah.
can access it. Still my servers are available up and running.
Shiva, about all these the options which you are using, we need to check in the domain.sh file, and there's no other option to get like what all options are included and what we can use,
Uh,
like
if I
man
understand your
or
question
help or
correctly,
something like that.
yeah, if I understand your question correctly, you're saying that Shiva said domain.sh or domain.dat and I click on help, would I be getting any help related stuff?
No, I mean what I mean is if you read through the domain.sh script, you might find some options like which you can use. Other than that, if there's any, yeah. What did you press?
Domain.sh
Help.
hyphen
Okay.
hyphen help.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
If
Yes.
you're not pressing anything, Unlike your other application server, here you'll not get a direct help. Mark my words. It will immediately start your domain instance.
Okay, yeah.
Clear?
Okay, thanks.
This information will not be there inside your domain.sh, but you can say domain.sh hyphen hyphen help. And so it will be there, but it's not.
Only few of them.
Only few of them will be there.
Yeah.
I would strongly recommend every one of you, depending upon your availability, to go through these options. This is really good from the interview point of view, from your work point of view. Okay?
Yep, thanks.
Cool. I got one question. Can I ask you all?
Yeah, please.
Okay. My domain instance is available up and running. Okay. I have my slave also available up and running. Some reason I stopped the slave. But when I'm trying to start my slave for the first time, when my domain is available, I say domain.sh hyphen hyphen backup and I started my slave. Slave went down for some reason. Next time when I'm trying to start the slave, I said, okay, domain.sh hyphen hyphen cached hyphen dc. Would the slave get started picking up the information from my master, or would it be picking up the information of my master from the cached directory?
If you exclusively say or start up the instance with cached DC option, then it will go initially for the cached XML. Otherwise, if you just start up the slave as it is, it will go and try to connect to the master that's up and running. I mean, it will try to fetch the details from it. I mean, I understand.
How about others? Okay. Silent, I'll assume that you're also in line with Manju, whatever Manju said. Yep, as it is said by you guys, correct. Okay. If you are using hyphen hyphen cached hyphen DC, it will pick up the information from the cached directory. That's the reason if you observe, try to observe the output. Every question will be answered there itself. I'm not sure how many of you people were observing when I'm trying to start the instance. See here.
Can you just go up like the command? I didn't see what you have given, please.
Oh, sure. Same. Hyphen hyphen cached hyphen DC.
Okay, just okay, cool.
Anyone? Any questions still here?
I'm clear so far. Once I practice this, I'll let you know.
No problem. How about others? Venu and Krishna? Clear? Not clear? Okay. I'm not sure about Krishna because he wasn't available for the yesterday's session. But go through the recording, Krishna. It will be easy. How about you, Venu? Is it clear? Cool. Silence, I'll assume it's clear to you all. Okay. So if it's clear to you all people, let's try to. Any messages from Vasu regarding? One second.
I think Satish was saying he couldn't attend the class and wanted Vasu to send the recording of the class. So he said okay.
Oh, okay. That is something for us. Cool. So we have some idea about what exactly is meant by domain mode, some basic few terminologies related to the domain mode. Okay. We also discussed about the server groups, servers, etc. How do we do the deployments? How we configure the data sources, etc. and etc. Okay. And regarding the data source, I asked a question: what is the difference between XA data source and a non-XA data source? For which I'm still waiting for a response. Okay. If you have a question, email me to me, or tomorrow in the morning when we start our session, we can discuss about that. Okay, so we also talked about, okay, how do we start a master? How do we know that a particular host will be a master or a slave? So all those things we discussed. Now, coming back to our next topic, which is CLI. I know that if I want to create a data source, I log into my admin console, my JBoss admin console, and I want to create a server, I want to start a server, I want to stop a server, or if I have to do some deployments, everything as of now, I'm doing it from the admin console. Okay, I go to the deployments, do the deployment. I want to create a server group, I go to the domain and I create a server groups. So whatever or everything and anything I'm trying to do it from my admin console. Imagine a scenario that, okay, some reasons the admin console is not accessible. Or imagine a scenario that, okay, admin console access is there, some issue, okay, some issue you don't want to, you cannot use the admin console. Or your company has decided that some reason I'll not allow you to access an admin console. How about now? To answer all these questions, JBoss has come up with something called as an JBoss CLI. Okay, it's JBoss command line utility. Okay, JBoss command line utility. Clear? It will allow you to interact with the JBoss application server without touching the admin console. The only prerequisite is that you need to access the PuTTY session. If you are able to do an SSH to your server, that's more than enough. Clear?
Yep.
I have a question before we proceed. What is the full form of JBoss? Or does JBoss have any full form? WebLogic WebSphere, I understand it doesn't have a full form. Tomcat, I understand it doesn't have a full form. Does JBoss have any full form? Or if it has, what is it? If it doesn't have, no problem. Does JBoss have any full form? Venu, Manju?
I have not quite
Thought about it?
yeah.
JBoss has a full form. Okay, Java means open source solution or open source stack, something like that. Okay, go through that. Surprisingly, this question was asked to me in one of my managerial round. Okay, I was a little bit surprised, but good thing is that just before that day, I thought, okay, what I was just going through the answer. Okay, good, I answered that question. I would have been the most embarrassing moment for me. Certified Java JBoss admin still doesn't know what is the full form of a JBoss. Okay, cool. Yeah. So JBoss is nothing but JBoss command line utility. Whatever the interaction you are trying to do with the JBoss application server using the admin console, editing the XML files, all those things or 99.99% of those tasks can be done by using the jboss-cli.sh. This jboss-cli.sh is something like your WS admin scripting tool in case of a WebSphere or your WST in case of a WebLogic scripting tool. Okay, but believe it or not, out of all those WebLogic or WebSphere scripting tools, the JBoss CLI is one of the easiest scripting tool available for us. Without knowing anything, we can do it. Why like that, Shiva? What is so great about the CLI? I'll give an example. To start your JBoss CLI, okay, go to your JBoss home bin directory and simply say jboss-cli.sh. Okay, simply say jboss-cli.sh. It will immediately start your JBoss CLI. The moment it starts, okay, it says that you are there in a disconnect mode. If you see a WebLogic server has something called as an online mode and offline mode. Online mode is nothing but it's connected to the DMGR. Offline mode is nothing but it is not connected to your DMGR admin console. Similarly, the moment you have your domain or your standalone instance, domain instance available up and running, not in case of a standalone, my bad. The moment you have your domain instance available up and running, the moment you invoke jboss-cli.sh, okay, it comes in the disconnected mode. Why it comes in the disconnected mode? Because you haven't said to which particular domain I have to connect. So
This
if you
is,
want, okay, yeah,
sorry, this is on the master you're running, or you can run
you
it
can run
anywhere.
either in master or in slave, or the machine where you don't have either master or slave running, but it has to have a connectivity to the master.
Okay.
Clear? You can run it in any machine you want.
Mm-hmm.
Where the JBoss is installed. That's of course a mandatory prerequisite. But second thing is that it should be able to connect to the master and slave.
Okay,
The
sure.
port should be allowed.
Okay. What is the
Okay?
port for this?
Okay. You people have to say to me what is the port for this.
Uh, the management interface, the native
No.
interface or something like
Yeah, native management, native interface or
that.
unsecured port number.
Hmm. Uh, if it's unsecure, okay.
Double nine double nine.
No, I was
Double
just
nine
thinking
nine
about
zero is
the.
the management port number. 8080 is a HTTP port number. 9999 is a management native or unsecured port number.
Okay, cool.
Remember? Very
Yeah.
important guys, you remember the default port numbers. I'm not sure if some idiot will ask you in the interview, but yeah, some people, crazy people are there, they ask the port numbers. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, because this port numbers, I feel it's not mandated that, at least these port numbers, it's not that mandated to remember, but some people are really keen. Okay? Again, that
Mm.
depends upon their background or their thought process. Yeah. Coming back to our topic, so the moment, okay, I know that, okay, as told by Shiva, I understand that JBoss CLI.sh, okay, it's a JBoss command and interaction tool. Anything and everything I'm trying to do from my admin console, I can, or editing the XML file, I can do all of them from the CLI. Perfectly fine. But how do I invoke that? Go to the JBoss home bin directory and simply say jboss-cli.sh. The moment I said that, okay, I see the status as disconnected. Why? Because in my current environment, I have couple of my masters running, couple of my domain instances running. Okay, you as a JBoss admin didn't told me to which master I need to connect. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so since you haven't told at the time of invoking the jboss-cli.sh, you can at least say now. How you can say? Simply say connect. The moment you say connect, okay, provide the name of your master, sorry, provide the IP of the machine where your master is running along with the unsecured port number. Unsecured port number of my master or slave?
Master.
Perfect. Why? Because I'm trying to connect to the master. Okay, I can't connect to, I don't want to connect to the slave. If I connect also, it's useless for me.
But can we invoke this in the production or pre-prod or the secure environments, because you
No
won't be
problem, you
allowed.
can invoke it. You cannot have
It's an
this one accessible
unsecured.
outside your machine.
Even though, see, for us, like, true that is not accessible outside our machine because we use certain tools and stuff like that. But when you're opening an unsecured port, it's a security breach, right? I mean, risk
You see,
for the hackers to.
okay, when the hackers will come and access your environment, the first thing is that they have to hit your load balancer, then the firewall, then your IDS, okay, then your DDoS protection layer, then they have to come and hit the web server. From the web server, again there will be another internal load balancer. From there, they will go and hit the application server. So many
Mhm.
layers have to pass through, point number one. And point number two, there's no need for you to open the 9999 port number. Why Shiva? Why like that? You said it's to be open. Okay. All your JBoss
Yeah,
application
I
server
mean, see,
instances will run in the same subnet. Okay, when you're running in the same subnet, automatically all the port numbers, okay, within the subnet will be opened by default.
See the port offset what we are giving is like plus or minus 2 or 20 or 20 like that. See, and
No
their
problem.
algorithms are much more stronger. Like, you know, these offsets what we are putting is like it's permutations and combinations of few sets which we are trying to do. But think about them who will be trying to intrude with their strong algorithms.
Let them try to intrude. I'm not saying that it's 100% secured, but what I'm saying is that you want or you don't want. By default, all the port numbers within the same subnet will be opened. Okay, it's by default the network admin will not put any restriction to open the subnets within the to open the port numbers within the same subnet. Okay, the property of the subnet concept is that, okay, there's no need for you to say that these are the list of port numbers in my subnet, please open or close. By default, all in the same subnet, okay, the port numbers are by default enabled in even in case of a banking customers also. So if you say that, Shiva, I have this kind of a problem, wait, there's a chance that my hacker might come and intrude into my subnet level access also, then please close that. Then in those scenarios only you have to open your 9999 port number. Otherwise, by default, since all your JBoss application server instances in running in multiple versions belong to the same subnet, they'll be opened.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Cool. So the moment I said, okay, connect, and I gave my master IP and the port number, it got connected. Okay, now I don't know what to do. Simply press the tab key. Simply press the tab key. It will say you what you have as an options at this hierarchy. Sure, 1 second here. I don't want to give the master details, okay, after I log in inside the CLI. At the time of logging into the CLI itself, I want to give the information about my master. How do I do that? Simply say ---- connect. There is another option called as an ---- controller, and give the IP of your master and the CLI port number. This is another way you can do it. Clear? Now it connected to a domain running on so and so IP, having his CLI port number so and so. Now whatever the operations you want to do now, you can do it. But before we try to talk about what are the operations it can do, we need to know some theoretical background about the CLI, probably from the interview point of view. What is that is nothing but, if you see a CLI, whatever the CLI that is being developed, it is being developed using with the basis as an JSON programming language. Okay, and the syntax what we follow here, we call it as an DMR syntax. Don't worry much about the theory of that. Just simply, probably someone might ask you. That's the reason I'm saying, whatever you're trying to do inside your CLI, everything is again based upon the JSON programming language. Okay, and the syntax that is being there for the implementation of a JSON, okay, it is nothing but, okay, it's again a DMR syntax. There's some full form for the DMR that I'm not exactly able to recollect right now, but that's a DMR syntax which people call it. Clear?
Yeah.
Any questions? Cool. Silence, I'll assume no questions from anyone. If you're not having any questions, let's try to go through few of the properties that are there inside your CLI. First thing what we'll try to do is that we'll not try to modify or create or add any properties. We'll first try to see what are there in the moment I'm in the online mode, or the moment I'm connected to a particular domain instance, what are all I can do. You can do anything and everything whatever you want. And the beauty of the CLI is that it supports the Unix operating system, or the operating system on which you're invoking it. For example, if you see here, I invoke the CLI from the Windows-based operating system. So I executed couple of options here. I want to clear the screen. To clear the screen in the Windows, what is the command can use? CLS. Do that. Sure, one question here. Oh, that does it only support CLS or any other properties? In a Windows, if I want to move from one directory to another directory, I use a CD. That one also is supported. Okay. Sure, what are the things I can do? Okay. To know what are the things you can do, press tab key. No need to do anything. Press tab key. It will give you the list of options that are there at that particular prompt. For example, if you see here, there is an option called as an read option, read attribute option. Okay, you want to do that. Simply say read hyphen. I'm not doing anything. I'm just pressing the tab key. First or one or two letters, then I'm pressing the tab key. Okay, you have to give the name of the attribute. I'll do that. Okay, but just I'm showing you the parameter or how I can use the read hyphen attribute. Sure, not like that. Okay, imagine that. Okay, you're saying that it even supports the operating system related commands. So does it support CD? Yes, it supports CD. CD and say to which particular folder or option you want to go to. I want to go to an option called as an deployment. CD deployment. Sure, 1 second here. You said that it supports the operating system commands. In Windows, if I want to know the list of directories, I simply say dir. Oh, I think it doesn't support the dir. No. But in case of a Unix, okay, it supports that. 1 second. Yeah, I think for the Windows also it's picking up the Unix commands. Okay, so if you see the ls, okay, it will show you the list of applications that are being deployed here. Okay, in my current working directory, pwd. The moment I say pwd, it tells about my present working directory. What is my present working directory? It's a deployment directory. So inside my deployment, how many applications I have deployed? I have deployed an application called as an example.var and postgres.jar file. Sure, can I go to the root? Yes, you simply say cd, the option, it will give you the root. Sure, 1 second here, I want to read the information about one of the resource. Can I do that? Of course you can do that. Read hyphen, okay, if you want to know about a particular operation, okay, you have to simply say operation. If you want to know about a particular attribute, okay, you have to say read hyphen attribute and mention the name of that particular attribute. Clear? Whatever the attribute you want to read comfortably, you can provide that information over here. Clear? Not clear? Okay, okay.
Clear.
Sure, how about a read hyphen operation? I'm not doing anything. I'm simply pressing tab key. Okay, it gives me about the list of read operations I can perform. Sure, everything is fine here, but in the read operation, I want to know what are the help commands that are available. You simply say read operation hyphen hyphen help. It will give the description and the things that you can do at that particular hierarchy. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
Clear? Not clear? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Clear.
Very important, guys. Very, very important. Believe it or not, it's very, very easy. Very easy. Okay. You want to know about the deployment related information. Press D and tab key. Press D and tab key. Okay. Of course, I have to give the information of my deployment file. Let's say I got my, what is the name of the application example I got? Anyone remembers the name of the file? 1 second.
Example.var, I think.
Not C. Okay. Yeah. Example.var. Okay, so now I'm here. Okay, I want to know some information or I want to read some info. Okay, which information you want to read. You want to read some information at a server group level, at a host level, or at a deployment level, or at a profile level. You say that, Shiva, I want to read the information at my host level. What is the host you have got? How many hosts you have defined? Shiva, actually it has been defined by my technical lead. I don't know how many hosts that are available. No problem. Simply say the slash host and again press tab key. It says that you have two hosts, master and slave. Tell me which one you want to go. Let's say that I decided I'll go with the master. Okay. Again, if you want to go inside that host, press this backward forward slash, or if you want to restrict yourself only at the master itself, press the colon. If you press the forward slash, it will take you inside that. Inside that, which information you want? Shiva, I want the information about the server. Press server. Okay. But I don't know about the server, the information about the servers I've got. Okay. Simply press equal and then press the tab key. It will give the list of servers you have got. You want to go inside the servers again? Press the forward slash and press the enter button. Okay. You want to know about the deployments that are there on the server. Press DE. Okay. And press the forward slash. Okay. After pressing forward slash also, if you're and pressing the tab key, if you're not able to get any info, that means to say that that's the end of your directory. Okay. There are no other subdirectories inside that. Okay. Then you have to say whatever the things you want to do at that level. Clear? Not clear?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Clear.
One second, I have some problem with my key. It's pressing. Oh shit. Anything happened? Oh, cool, nothing happened. Yeah. So accidentally the key got pressed, okay, and it was keep on coming. Yeah. So that's about the different tabs how we can go through the different directories, okay, and what does a tab key do? Now let's try to understand a particular operation now. Okay, today we'll try to understand about one or two operations. There is a read operation as well as a write operation. So I'm there inside the, we'll again go to the same. Okay, we'll try to go inside the host. Okay, and so the host, I'll go to the master, and so the master, let me say that I'll go to the server by name master, and inside that I want to go to the deployment. Okay, and after I go inside the deployment, okay, I want to perform some operation, and I press the forward slash. I'm not able to know what are the other operations I can perform. Okay, then if you want to perform any other, sorry, did I press anything wrong? Oh, sorry, yes. Okay, yeah. So if you see here inside the deployment, okay, now you have a facility now to do a deployment. Okay, whatever the deployment you want to do on this particular server, now you can do a deployment. Shiva, what exactly is meant by overlay? I know about the deployment you're saying, but what exactly is meant by that particular overlay deployment? I don't know what is that overlay means. So I'll say.
But this deployment, what you're doing, it will deploy only to the master, isn't it?
Yes. We don't have a facility to target a particular deployment to a particular server at the admin console level. Here I can do it. Your doubt is that, Shiva, when I'm trying to do the deployment from the admin console,
but
I
what
don't
is the
have a
advantage?
facility.
When
Yeah.
you want to deploy something, you deploy it to the whole server group, isn't it? What is the advantage of deploying it to individual servers like master or slave?
The advantage here is,
in what scenarios do you do that?
see, the advantage of deploying an application to a particular server instance, okay, nothing much. Okay, if you're trying to deploy your application at your server group level, okay, wherein which you have couple of one master and couple of slaves, okay, wherein which it is horizontal scalable, you will have a better high availability. Imagine that I've deployed the example.var only to my master instance. My master is done. Can you access your application? Not possible.
Yeah.
But this example.var application is deployed to a server group called as an test server group. This test server group is accessible. It has the server instances both on my master and my slave. So it is distributed across multiple machines. The advantage here is that even though my master server instance goes down, still I can access it.
Mm-hmm.
Clear? Clear? Not clear? Okay, okay. Why? Because even though my master is done, since this example.var is targeted to the test server group, which has instances both on my master and slave, since master is down, I can have the slave application accessible through the slave. How that is being done? That is taken care at the load balancer level. You as an end user, no need to worry about that because that's a property of your server group. Clear?
What do you mean by load balancer level?
I'm
You
just
do the
okay. I'll take back my word. No load balancer. Okay, as of now, no load balancer.
because load balancer will be at the, like, if you are having two instances of these masters, right? Like the clustering or something like that.
Yeah, that's the same thing. As of now, I'll take back my word call as a load balancer.
Okay.
I'll use the word again when I'm trying to talk about the clustering or web server.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, as you said, the application will be accessible to slave, but
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Unless until you're not individually hitting on each server port number. Okay, okay. If you see here,
If you're just hitting the application URL rather than the
if you're hitting the application, what is the 8084? 8084 is the port number of my master. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Now if you're hitting on the individual port numbers, one second. Yep. Now can the application be accessible?
should be no,
Why?
because you're targeting the master
Individually.
port. Yeah.
Okay. In those scenarios, it will not be accessible. Okay.
Hmm.
Cool. Yep. So why we got into this discussion?
If you're deploying
I
only to the master.
yeah. Some reason I got into this discussion. Yep. Okay. Coming back to our topic. Okay. About the CLI. Okay. We are trying to talk about the read operation. Okay. So why I got into this? Why is the read hyphen resources not coming?
What do you mean by overlay? Deployment overlay?
I want to show you the definition of that overlay. So that's just when I'm trying to do the read hyphen resource. Read operation is not coming. Only help is coming. Okay, I thought of showing something else. It turned out to be something else. Cool, cool. So if you see the deployment hyphen overlay here, okay, if you want to know information about this one, okay, what does this command will do is that this command supports the action, okay. You can list the content, you can try to redo the deployment, okay. You can try to remove an application, you can upload an application. So like this couple of properties are there that are supported by deployment hyphen overlay. It's frankly speaking, it's more or less like your deployment command itself, but I thought of showing something else. 1 second, guys. Let me try to show you something at other level otherwise. Host, master. Let me pick up anything. What is one? Include aliases not needed. Yep. Yeah, let me show you this one. Actually, I want to show you there are multiple options that are there in the CLI. I first thought of showing you people about the read attribute, then read hyphen resource, then read hyphen resource hyphen description. Then I thought of talking about the write attribute. Okay. Yep. Let me come back. So let's again go back to our host. Okay. Let's again go back to the host server. I got a server called as in master. Okay. Inside that, okay, let me go to the deployment. Let me take the example.var file. Okay. And not this one. Oh, what happened? Host. It's my master. Inside the master host, I got the server by name, master hyphen s1. Okay. Inside that, okay, I got the deployment. Okay. Example.var file. Okay. Inside the example.var file, I got a subsystem. Okay. I don't want to do any sub deployment. I want to show you the subsystem that are there. Web subsystem. Okay. Inside the web subsystem. Okay. Let me show read hyphen resource tab. The moment you say read hyphen resource, okay, if there is any problem with the application or if the application is down, for example, let me assign the application. Isn't application assigned? Let me reassign this application. Okay. Now let's try to execute this operation again. If you see here, what is the outcome of it? The application outcome is failed. What does that mean to say that? When you're trying to read the status of an application by name example.var, okay, you can know with the help of a read operation, you can know whether that particular resource you're trying to access, it's available or not available. If you see in our scenario, I deployed an application called as an example.var file. This application, whatever I deployed called as an example.var file, this application was initially accessible. That's the reason when I executed a read-resource option on this, I got the status as successful and it showed me the properties related to that. But some reason my application isn't accessible. Now when I'm executing the read-resource, it's shown me the outcome as failed. Clear everyone? What is the use of a read-resource? Read-resource, one use case we discussed is about to know the status of the configuration. Similarly, you can know the status of your data source. Similarly, you can know the status of your deployment file. So whenever you want to know the status of any particular resource you have configured, you can use the read-resource. Any other use, Shiva, of read-resource? Yes. Let's go back to the same host. This time let's again go back to the server. Okay. The moment I say read-resource right now, okay, I'll copy paste this one into a new tab. If you see here, where is my read-resource? If you see your read-resource, when I'm trying to execute a read-resource at a resource level, my server is a resource level, then I got to know about the different properties related to that particular server. Okay, I could able to see the different properties that are related to that particular server. It told me, okay, about the version, the product version I have got. It gave me the property about my profile. It told me if there is any schemas that are available. It told me about the list of applications that are got deployed inside it. Deployment overlay, just timing its values undefined. I'll come back to the deployment overlay in a few minutes. Okay. It told me, okay, about the different interfaces that are there. Okay. The path variables. Okay. What is the default values that are being given? Okay, unless until you're not overriding it, the values by default will come as undefined. Don't worry much about that. It told me about the socket binding groups to which my server, master-server belongs. Like that, each and every property that is related to that particular resource, I'll get that info here. Okay, first use case we understood is about the how to know the status. When I got an resource configured, and if I want to know the status of that particular server or that particular resource, okay, how do I get that? Second use case of the read-resource or is that, okay, I can get the description of a particular resource. If the resource has some other parameters inside that, I can even get that info. Sure, perfectly fine, but I'm not able to make much use of this particular one. The reason why is that it showed me just the info about that particular properties. I want to know the description of that particular properties also. Then you say read-resource-description. It will say to you what exactly is that particular property is all about and the description about that. Oh, couple of properties have been skipped, I think. No, it hasn't. It isn't. Okay. So if you see the status here, okay, the moment I say read hyphen, 1 second. Sorry everyone. So when I'm saying read hyphen resource, it just gives me the information about the resource. But the moment I say read hyphen resource hyphen description, it not only gives me the information about the properties, but it will try to describe each and every property that I have here. Okay. For example, if you see the parameter or the property called as an version, okay, is version an integer variable or it's some string variable? That info I can get here. Okay, if you see the access type, is the access type just a parameter or I can override that? I can get it here. So the complete description about the parameters and their use, okay, I'll get completely over here. Okay, that's the use of the read hyphen resource hyphen description. Anyone, any questions?
No.
How about others, Venu? Cool. So we know about read hyphen resource, okay, read hyphen resource hyphen description. Apart from that, do we have any other properties, Shiva? There are a couple of more other properties over here, but the dominant one which we'll be using is the read hyphen resource hyphen description, and read hyphen attribute. Okay, as of now, sorry, as of now, okay, most of my attribute values are undefined because I haven't overwritten anyone. So that's the reason it's coming in that way. No problem. Don't take that one much seriously. Clear?
Yeah.
So we talked about the read hyphen attribute, okay, or the read operation related properties, read hyphen resource hyphen description, read hyphen resource, read hyphen attribute. Now let's take a simple example. Let's say that I got a data source, okay. I want to override the value of minimum and maximum connection point, which is nothing but write attribute. I'm trying to write something. I want to update something. I want to modify something. How you can do that? You can do that one with the help of an attribute called as an write attribute. How we do that? I'll show you. Let's say that as it's told, okay, we'll try to modify the values of our minimum and maximum connection pools. Where are the connection pools defined? They're defined inside the data source. Correct or not?
Yeah.
Okay, data source belongs to a subsystem. Correct or not?
Mm-hmm.
Subsystem belongs to a hierarchy of a profile. Correct or not?
Yep.
Okay, Shiva, not clear. No problem. Log into your admin console. Click on configuration tab. Okay. You go to a profile called as a default profile. You go to a subsystem called as a data source. There you are seeing the data source properties. Correct or not? The same hierarchy will follow here also. Okay. Profile equal to default profile. Okay. And what is the subsystem I'm going? Data source subsystem. And inside the data source subsystem, okay, what is the data source I'm using? I'm using a data source called as an Postgres data source. Clear? Inside the Postgres data source, I want to write an attribute related to the minimum and maximum. But Shiva, I don't know the name of the attribute. What should I know now? No problem. Here comes the use of your read hyphen resource. Clear? Read hyphen resource. When you click on read hyphen resource, it will say to you the list of resources that are there for that particular data source. And what is the one you want to modify? You want to modify the parameter related to the maximum and minimum connection pool. Make a note of it. Okay? Make a note of it. Right attribute. What is the name of the attribute? The name of the attribute is maximum connection pool. Okay, sorry. What is the value? Okay, the value Let me give the value as um, what should be the value? Let's give value as 10. Okay. Now execute read hyphen resource on that. Initially, if you remember, the value of maximum connection pool is coming as undefined. Now see the value. It's coming as 10. Similarly, make the changes for your minimum connection pool also. Give the value here as something like 5. Now again execute read hyphen resource. You see the value? Clear? Not clear? Okay, okay.
Okay.
When you're clear, write attribute will help us to override, update the parameter value. Remember, not the deployment related things, you can't use the write attribute. Okay? Any parameters you have, okay, for any of the servers, okay, if you want to override, not only servers, sorry, it might be related to any resource. If you want to modify the parameters related to them, okay, you can use the write attribute. If you want, I can show you another example. Needed, not needed. Okay, okay.
No, that's fine.
Venu? Let me show that one example otherwise. Let's try to pick up another property. Let me go back to the profile, default profile, subsystem, let's say. Any one of you know about the thread concept? Okay, no problem. We'll not go to the. You know it?
I know. What do you mean by until what level? Like,
What are meant by default threads? Okay, what are my application threads? Have an idea about that?
yes.
No problem. There's a concept called as in threads, which anyway we'll be talking about it. Okay. At any point of the time, if you want to update the value of the threads, okay, then comfortably you can do that, okay, by using the write attribute. Okay. What is the name? Okay. Let me give the name as you can take any parameter. Let me take the parameter called as an thread factory. This anyway will come to what exactly is meant by thread, etc. Will again come back, and let me give a value to that. Value, let's say 10. Oh, it's not picking up that value. It doesn't pick up that value. Let me try to give a value. Is it a string or it's an integer? Thread factory. Oh, it's deprecated.
Yes, deprecated.
It's deprecated. Okay, no problem. Let me pick up another parameter otherwise. Host master. Interface will pick up. This every one of us knows. I hope everyone knows about this interfaces concept, correct? Yes, no, SSS,
Yeah.
no. Okay, wait at a bit. Previously, we were trying to edit the changes in the config.xml file or from the admin console. Now, let's try to make the changes here itself. Okay. Uh, let's try to pick up the public address. Public address. What is the value? Uh, you give any value. Let me say 10.0.0.6. I'm not sure if it's a valid value or not, but this is how you can change it. Okay, I think this is not the valid value. That's the reason it's not picking up. Okay, because I don't want to execute IP-config on my machine. But at any point of the time, if you want to modify the value, this is how you can modify it. Clear?
Yeah.
Expected a boolean, but it was a string. Okay, I don't want to execute any IP command here. That's the reason it's coming in that way. Just ignore that exception. But anyone, any questions on how do we use the write attribute or read attribute?
No, clear.
When you're clear? Cool. If you guys are clear, let me pause our discussion here. Tomorrow when we try to resume back, we'll try to talk about how do we do the deployment, how do we create a data source, okay? How do we start a server, how do we stop a server, how do I start and stop all the servers in my environment related to my domain, okay? Once we are done, we'll mark the end of the CLI, then we'll quickly try to jump into the other discussion, okay?
Yeah.
Manju, you have any questions, something not comfortable?
No, I'm just thinking about other things. So tomorrow at 7:30 or 8?
8, we'll start at 8.
Okay.
If you guys feel to have it at 7:30, I'm even okay at 7:30.
I'm fine. I don't know about the rest of the guys.
Then let's try to continue at 8 a.m. Okay, and if there are any changes from the other students, we'll work accordingly. Okay,
Okay.
all the best guys. Bye everyone. Good night
Okay. Thanks.
and good day.
Yeah. You too.